Hi everybody, Jo here again. How are you doing? I hope you're keeping well. Thanks so much for popping in. As always, I'm looking forward to having a nice crafty play, and I hope you're going to join me because I bet you've got stamps that would fit with this design. But I might just be sneaking in one of our newer stamps. And this one is actually called the Teapot Cottage. I was just checking. I know you can hear that I wasn't concentrating. I was looking at my list because you know me, trying to work out the names and get them in my head. Anyway, it's this beautiful Teapot Cottage. Now, obviously, it could be in a meadow, it could be in a field, it could be in the woodland. You know, do the fairies live in it? Do the animals live in it? But I couldn't resist having a bit of fun with the cheeky mice, and I think they're trying to see what's inside. So, could it be a robin's nest? Could it be they just want some tea? Or could it be they're just being a bit naughty and expressing themselves? What I love about our stamps is there are so many different ways you can use them. And sometimes I think it's lovely just to create a nice, fun design. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to start with a piece of the multifarious card. And this is 5.5 inches square. As you know, a size I like to use. It fits lovely on a 6x6. But if you're one of our friends and followers that likes to make oblong cards, you could easily just alter the shape a little. Now I'm going to start off with the moss caps, and I'm going for the larger one. I want this length here. And I'm going to do my stamping today in the Versafine Clair Nocturne. As you know, I love to make a sort of a corner. It almost frames the design. So we'll pop this sort of about there. And then we'll turn it round, ready to pop the other side on. Now you could use a smaller one if you wanted for this side, but I've gone for the same size. And I'm just going to, if I can, marry the corner up. And you know what, if it doesn't quite meet, I've got that black fine liner, which I've got to be honest, gets me out of many a difficult spot. Do you know what, I'll go for that. I'm happy with that. Just give that a bit of a wipe, pop that away. So next, I wanted something in the corner for my mice to stand on, and I went for a pile of books, and these are from Book of the Lost Words. That's me sometimes. I don't know about you, but sometimes I do lose my words. I don't know where they go. I think maybe they go on holiday with Mr. Mojo. So let's stamp these right in the corner. I may just have to put my head over. Give that a good stamping. And then what we're going to do is stamp our lovely teapot. And again, we'll stay with the black. Now the detail in this stamp is just fabulous. And I just want to put it at a bit of an angle. And I'm thinking, right, we'll go for that. You know, I often do this. Do you? You come up with a design and then you suddenly think, oh, hang on, how am I actually going to stamp that? And if you notice, I've missed a little bit there. But do you know what? We'll just add a little extra book look, and we'll just take the design down. And we'll just put some shade down there anyway. And nobody will ever know that we missed that bit. The same if I'd missed here. You know, it's what we do. Well, it's what I do. Now to the mice. The first one is from Tilly and Tango. And I love these, as you know. They do creep into my designs quite a lot. And again, I just want to see if I can just put his foot there, his hand there. Right, let's go for that. Like I say, if I miss, that black fine line is going to be used again. No, happy with that, I'll take that. Now, the next bit's a bit tricky, because if I show you our lovely little, is this Minnie or Moo? Well, anyway, whichever one has got the head. in the teapot lid. So the way I did this was, got the teapot lid and got myself a pencil, and I sort of decided if I'm going to stamp the mouse there, the teapot lid needs to be about there. Now I say about because, you know, let's see, because obviously we've got to stamp this first and then mask it, but it gives me a fighting chance. So once again, I'm just going to come in and just stamp. Right, we'll go for the teapot there, the lid, and then a piece of copy paper. I have a piece that I tear. Don't know about you, but I keep it to hand. And we'll just cover that. Now this is the tricky bit. Let's see if... Now I need you to hold your breath for me, because that would really help. So I want foot on there. Let's see what we get. Right, so if you look, we're all right until that little bit of our little mouse's arm's missing. But you know what? We can just... There we go. And so that way... Oh, and just a little bit on the ear there, just to make it even more perfect. There we go. So we've got that bit done. It's always good when you get those tricky bits done. So next we want the shelf. So we're going for the bookshelf, the smaller one. And again, we want our mouse to look as though... So I want the bookshelf about there. So again, I'm thinking if that goes there, we'll go bookshelf about there. So let's see. Now, again, I may need to mask my teapot. So I've got my copy of paper ready, just in case. But I think we're going to be all right. Actually, I think the mouse is, yeah, higher. My shelf was higher, so that was good. But if it would have been lower, that would have just masked the teapot. So lots of things to think about there. So we'll just, obviously, Versafine Clair, slower drying ink, so let's give it a good blot. But thank you for holding your breath. Right, we'll get rid of that. And now we're going to add some colour through a stencil. And the stencil I've gone for is Flora, just because I love the flow in this one. And again, I want to avoid these bits. You could put your low-tap masking tape, but I think we'll just go for it. So I've got blue Atoll there, and I've got flying fig here. And I'm going to come in first with our lovely deep purple colour. Now it's quite strong, this. So I'm just going to roughly go around the mouse and the teapot. If I go over the teapot, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be colouring in with my lovely pencils. I just want the nice purpley colour, but I'm going to stop there. And then I'm going to come in with the blue. And again, blending in the lid. And this is a softer colour, a lighter colour. So I'm just going to build up around, and I'm happy for it to blend in with the purple. If you're not sure how it's looking, just lift it up. Oh yeah, like that. Just a light little bit up there, just to take it a bit further. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. And this, as always, I'm going to save and pop it. I will put that there. I made a background today, so let's find an empty page. Oh, actually it would go nice because we've got the plus side on there where it's been used. So, quick spritz over Eric. So it's worth, just keep your journal at hand. Keep mine open on my desk all the time now. Just for adding. Oh yeah, like that. And look, I'm going to put that there to dry. Pile that on the floor and get back to adding some nice colour to this design. I'm going to use my pencils, my lovely Mondelez pencils, and I'll tell you what colours I know you like to know. So we've got 3. I don't think they're in order. You might have to bear with me. 3, 18, 20, 177, 31 and 132. And we're just going to do some nice light colouring. And I'm thinking first with the yellow. And again, I'm not going to overthink this. Nice bright colour. I mean, do you know what? If you're somebody who loves colouring in, these stamps are just perfect. And I hate to say the Christmas word, but do you know what? I'm thinking there's about to be a lovely Christmas design. There's some little holly around this, some mistletoe. Or was it hedgehogs? Maybe there's a hedgehog that lives in here. Right, blue. So what I'm going to do with my darker blue is add darker blue in here and then just round the rim, down the sides, just to help with a little bit of shape. Now again, I'm going to do my wink of colouring, so I'm going to blend it with my clear wink of Stella. So I don't need to over colour. So if you're worried about getting lines and how to colour perfectly, the wink of Stella, in my opinion, is such a great cheat. You can also use plain water, but I love the sparkle with the wink of Stella. And like I say, it just works well for me. But we're all different, so however you want to colour these beautiful stamps, you colour. And then I'll come in with my lighter blue and just blend. And as I say, don't worry about the lines because they'll disappear when I add the wink of Stella. Can't wait to see how you all colour your teapots. So while I've got the blue, let's colour the lid. Again, we'll have dark there. And then come in with the light. Fabulous. Now, while we've got the blue, let's colour one of the books blue. And then we keep those colours running through the whole design. That's the Lavinia Stamps lovely book. And then, as I say, don't judge me, we're going quick colouring, speedy colouring. Like a bit of speedy colouring. Let's go yellow for this one. And that matches with the yellow from there. Right, the bookshelf. We'll have a bit of brown, but then we'll bring some yellow in at the top for those sort of tones. And a little bit of red, maybe it's more of a mahogany bookshelf. Some yellow for our lovely light. And then our mushrooms, so we're going to go red. But a little tip, if you haven't got a deep red, brown works really well. So I'm just going to add a bit of brown there to add the shade. And then red there. And then this one, we'll add brown down here. And then red. Right, so clear wink of Stella. And we'll start with the yellow. So I'll start with the light bulb, just colour that. And I'm just starting with my lightest colour. And again, as I say, this gives a beautiful blend. And what I love about this is I love mixing older with newer stamps. And that way you just build up the amount of different designs you can do. You know, none of these are sort of standalone. I mean, there's so many ideas. I can't wait to see what you do. Because again, you'll use them in different ways to what we've used them. And that's what I love. I love about the way we can all put our own little, you know, spin on things. And it's lovely to see how people's imagination works. How we all see different things. And I love that. I love that we share the ideas. See, look how that blends beautifully. And I love looking and, you know, it's that moment when this sort of penny drops and you look at an idea and you think, why didn't I think of that? And often it looks so obvious when somebody else has done it. You know, it's a bit like going out for a meal, isn't it? I've got to be honest. I make my choices and I look at everybody else's and think, oh, that looks really nice when it comes. It didn't look nice on paper, but I like the look of it now. I'm sure I'm not the only one who does that. Right, so that's the blue. And as I say, it just blends beautifully. You don't need to worry about lines. So, Wink of Stella, yeah, check it's clean. And you're just building up that lovely design. So, some highlights. So, it's just my white pastel pencil. And I just want to add some little, I'm not going to overcook it, just some little, again, just to give a little bit of shape. Does make me smile. It's got the teapot lid as a hat. Probably thinks he's very cool. He's got to be the naughty one, hasn't he? The cheeky one. And then what I'm going to do is I love these Signo pens, as you know, and this metallic one, the bronze, is perfect to just dab on the wire here and just on the filament, but then also on the band. Look, on the lid and on the teapot here. So it's like one of those expensive teapots with the gilding on. And again, round the door here. Like I say, I'm thinking you could use a red or a gold for Christmas. I always like to add a little bit on the books, those expensive books that have got those gilding bits on. And just here we've got these lovely bits. So it's nice I can tie it all together. And down here. And also for me, I find it easier with these lovely Signo pens, narrow parts like this. Whereas with a pencil, I find it hard getting my pencil in, even if I sharpen it. And like I say, it brings it all together so you've got that lovely cohesive design. Little touches with the white now. And I just want to add a little touch to his ear. The teapot. Just a couple of highlights. In that corner there. A little bit on the top here. Maybe a little bit on the top of there. Just nose there. A little bit on there. Maybe a bit on the shelf. Right, stop. Walk away from the pen. Now, some words. Let's have a look. On my original, I've got express yourself and smile. I think, you know, I could put keep moving forward, turn the tide. I think it's got to be see the light. Because I think one of our double trouble is going, I can see the light, I can see what's in there. I'm just going to use my scissors and I think, oh, look, see, I've got a mark there. Don't worry, I'll be trimming that. But thanks for pointing that out. Right, I think it's going in the middle here. And then just with my black fine liner, just going to edge it. Now again, you don't have to, you can leave it. You can put little dots in the corners, look. You can finish it off however you desire. because at the end of the day, I can't wait to see how you make your design. But that's my little offering, and it's so good just seeing, almost bringing the stamps to life. Because as I say, I'm sure when we all go to bed, that's what happens. Certainly happens in my craft room. Tell you what, maybe they're going to make me a cup of tea for when I wake up in the morning. Maybe they're not cheeky mice. Maybe they're helpers, little house helpers. What do you think? Let me know. So thanks for spending time with me. As always, it's a pleasure to have your company. You take care, and I'll spend time with you again soon. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.